I'm Sandy and this is my channel, Stitching with Sandy. My channel is a channel about cross stitch and all the things that I love doing in my free time, but primarily about cross stitch. Welcome and welcome back. If you're a new subscriber, thank you for stopping by. I hope that you find something that inspires you or helps you get a few stitches in. And for those returning, thank you for coming back. I appreciate that you're always here for me to share what I love. All right, so today is Flosstube 53, and I have lots of FFOs to share with you, some whips, some sals. I'm in a lot of sals right now, and so I have a lot to share with you, and I can't wait to show you, and I hope you like what you see. All right, so since I was here last time, it's been about 3 weeks. A few things happened, not too much to share, but one thing that I'm super proud of is my twin daughters. We got a letter from the superintendent of our school district stating that my two daughters, who are in 8th grade, scored in the top 20% in the nation. When I first heard, I thought it was just in our school district, but they told me, nope, it's in the entire nation. So I'm very proud of them, and I have just needed to brag a little bit about them. I knew they were smart, and I know they work hard, so they totally deserve that recognition. Other than that, let's see, I did complete some quilts. I have 3 pieces that I worked on. Mostly I just needed to get the binding done. They came back from the long arm quilter, and 2 of them had been sitting for a while because I was kind of scared. Last time I did some binding, I did it at a friend's house, and she guided me through it all. Hi, Dina. And but I needed to try and do it by myself, so I did, and I want to show you them. The first one that was sitting was Primrose Cottage stitches. They also do quilts, and every month on the 2nd week of the month they give out in their quilting newsletter a free pattern for you to quilt. And last year they had sent out this patriotic piece, and I decided that I wanted to make it into a blanket as well as the table mat, and so I did both. So here is my table mat, and I had to bind it. It's been sitting in my closet ever since I got it back from the long arm quilter. And here is the pattern that she did on the back, which I just love. I think it's so cute. So I finished this, and I did it all by myself. I'm so proud of myself. And then I'll show you the quilt. The quilt is pretty much the same prints, but I did the binding, seam binding, in a different fabric. And it's giant. Like, this is big enough to fit, I think, on a twin size bed, because I measured it on my daughter's. So here it is. I can stand up, but it pretty much looks the same all the way down to the bottom, and it has the same quilting as the table mat. So I'm really proud of this. I can't wait to put it on display this year in a couple months. So the month of July I'll put it out. Being that I just started quilting, this is like a huge accomplishment for me. So I'm very proud to have completed them and now to be able to share them with you. And my other quilt, I made this at the same friend's house, and we have a group of friends, and we all get together and you either stitch or you work on something that you're quilting or something that you're sewing. And so we did get together. I want to say it was in January. I think it was January. And I put this whole thing together, and then I sent it to the long arm quilter, and then it traveled to a few of my friends, and then finally back to me. And so I got it back, and the same day I got it back, I put the binding on, and so I was able to get all 3 of those bound in one day. So here is this one. So it's a Oh My Stars, and this one is by Pat Sloan. Pat Sloan, and it's Oh My Stars. And the binding and the quilting that I ended up getting put on it, I believe was called a coffee swirl. I'll hold it up so you can see. Here is, there it is. And this one I wanted to make, my niece had her first baby and I wanted to make her son a quilt. I tried to make something special for all my nieces and nephews' children as they come along, and I was afraid I wouldn't do well on that because it was a little bit more challenging than just some squares. But I was successful, so I'm gonna make her one in flannel, so it'll be nice and warm and cuddly for her baby. So now that I know I can do it, I will do that one. And then next up, we just celebrated my nephew's wedding, was on Saturday, and this is my nephew Joseph. His mother, if you've been following me, was my sister-in-law Kathy, who passed away from breast cancer a couple of years ago. And so all of his aunts and uncles and his grandma and grandpa, we all went there to support him and be there to watch him marry his sweet bride. And it was a beautiful, beautiful wedding. And then the last thing I have to share is I kicked the cane to the curb. So if you've been following me or you watched my last Flosstube, you heard my horrible story if you stuck around to the end. And it'll be a month tomorrow, and I have been trying to walk without the cane now. It still hurts a little bit in my knee, and taking stairs hurts because I tried to do stairs at the wedding and that was pretty painful. But other than that, I don't have the cane anymore, so that was a nice surprise to my students today at school. I will start physical therapy on the 30th, so hopefully eventually stairs won't hurt either, so we'll see. That's pretty much what's been going on with me. I'm now gearing up towards open house. We have open house on May 2nd, so my kinders and I have been busily working, trying to get all of our projects completed and ready to present to our parents, so we're very excited. But let's get to our cross stitch FFOs. So today I have 5 to share with you, and the first one is, if you watched my last Flosstube, it was Spring Parade by Barbara Anna. I finally had a chance to FFO it, and here is my finish. So I made a little pillow. I decided, I was talking to Sarah from Sarah Stitches, and actually what we did, which was really fun, is we Zoomed and then we FFO'd together. So if you've ever wanted to Zoom with someone, it's really fun to FFO while you're Zooming, because then it doesn't feel like you're there by yourself. And then if you need advice, you have someone right there to ask, which I did. I asked her what she thought I should use on the edge, and she thought I should use this fuzzy chenille because it sticks up, and she thought it would go well with the dandelions. And that's what I did, and I love her idea. And there's my back, and I'm really happy with it. And then the next up is the Carrot Farm by Prairie Schoolers book Bunnies, and I made it into a little pillow, and here it is. It's super tiny. I'll hold it up for comparison to my regular size pillow. It's super tiny, but I was able to find a little carrot button in my grandmother's stash of buttons, and I used this little tiny gingham print to finish it off, and there's the back, and it's all set. I love it. I love how it turned out, and I've decided I'm going to go back to the quilt shop where I bought this print and get it in every other color, so that when I do some more of them, they can all be finished very similar. All right, and then my next one is the April monthly mini from the 12 monthly minis from Primrose Cottage Stitches, and I had finished April, but I needed to FFO it. I FFO'd it into a pillow like they did, but I thought it looked kind of plain. So I used this wispy yarn, and this yarn, I wrapped it twice so that I could have enough to stick out on the side. So it's kind of wispy like, and I really like that. I think it just needs that added decoration to make it not look so plain. And I really like it. These stitch up so fast. I believe I stitched this one in the evening, so I know that I should be able to keep up with this series, but we'll see. Sometimes I'm not very good at keeping up with the series. I start all gung-ho and then somehow I get behind. And it takes me a couple years to complete it. All right, next up is Merry Little Snake. If you've been following me or if you've not, this year I'm doing 24 and 24 along with Pam from Just Keep Stitching. And my take on 24 and 24 was to make some Christmas ornaments, and I was focusing on Christmas ornaments for my children. I have a 30-year-old, a 28-year-old, a 17-year-old, and twin 14-year-olds, and I have not been a good mom and kept up with their ornaments each year. So I'm going to try to spend this year getting some of them completed so that I won't be so far behind. So my son, who's 17, he had gone to, we had to do a mother-son event in 2017. It was a reptile show at school, and I had to hold a snake even though I didn't want to. And so he always thought that was hilarious. So I found this ornament designed from Stony Creek, and it's called Merry Little Snake. And I thought it was perfect to commemorate that year. And here is my finish. And I did it on a wood round that I was able to pick up. I think I bought it at Michael's, I think. And I painted it red, and then I added some white chenille to mimic the hat. And then I bought this package of Christmas lights and on a string just for this because I didn't care for the buttons that you could order from Stony Creek. I didn't care for the colors. And so I put them on, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. And then on the back, I just wrote his name and the year, so that he will know it's his, and he'll have Mom's handwriting on it as well, which I think that's important. And then the last FFO that I have is, I did not stitch it. My sweet friend Gina gifted it to me last year, and I've been hunting for the way to finish it. And I know the pattern is Be Strong by Bank Creek. She stitched it, and then she asked me if I wanted it, and I said, of course I do. And so I believe it came in a kit. And I think it came with the pearl cotton. This is stitched with pearl cotton on a larger count fabric. So here it is, Be Strong. So hopefully, Gina, if you're watching, I hope you like what I did with it. I really like this. I had found this little sign at Hobby Lobby, and I thought it would be perfect, and I got it home, and sure enough, I was able to make a oval out of it and turn it into it. And then I used this little burlap ribbon to edge it, and then to have a bow at the top because it matched the purple flowers. So I'm really happy with how it turned out. All right, so those are my FFOs for this week. I do want to share Just Cross Stitch magazine. I model stitch for them, and the new magazine is supposed to hit the stands tomorrow. This is it. This is the summer 2024 issue of Just Cross Stitch magazine, and I want to share with you what I stitched in it. This particular one, like I said, will go on stands tomorrow. However, I know some people have already received it in the mail if you have a subscription. And what I stitched in it, I have 3 things to share. So first, my group of Menifee Stitchers, we did a girls trip in April of last year, and we went off to the attic. And so Just Cross Stitch magazine asked me if I had a local needlework shop and any pictures from it. And at the time, I didn't have any for Grand Country Quilts, which I'll share more about that soon. But we had just gone to the attic, and I told them, well, we've been to the attic. So she asked me to get confirmation from everybody that they were okay if I share their picture. And here is our group all in front of the attic, and here is some of the attic beauty that you'll see if you go there. So we were so lucky to be included in that part, that section of the magazine, which is about local needlework shops. And then I model stitched, the first piece I model stitched in here is called Americana, and it is by Curious Carrie Designs. Her name is Carrie Powell, is the designer. And here is the piece that I stitched for them. I love the fabric that it was on. I believe it's like a stormy gray. It's very pretty. And I really enjoyed stitching on it. Oh, it's called Gray Smoke Lugana by Sunflower Printed Fabrics from Rogue Stitching. That's who it's by. And this is a nice piece. It is 60 by 55 if you're interested in stitching it, and it's an easy skill level. Sorry about the sun reflection. Our sun blares in my room at this time of the day. The next piece that I stitched is by Maria Imashiva. I'm not sure. I'm probably saying her name wrong, but she is from Quaternion Creations. I'm sure I'm totally butchering her name. I am so sorry, Maria, but it's called Sweet Mossy Home. I just love this frog. I think he's so cute. So I stitched that for her. And that one is, I'm trying to find the size for you. It's 101 high by 43 wide. And it's also a scale easy level. So those are the pieces that I stitched in this magazine. There's some wonderful pieces in here. So if you don't have one, check your local stand. It'll be out tomorrow. Unless you have a subscription, you probably already have it. All right, so that's something I wanted to share with you. And then we're gonna move into my whips. So I don't know if you're following Laura Stitching by the Shore, but she has a Flosstube if you're not. So if you've not heard of her, please go check her out. But she also has a page on Facebook, and you can join her group on Facebook. And I'm gonna see if I can adjust this little, I can see I'm glowing. Anyways, she has a Facebook page, and on her Facebook page, she's been doing a couple of stitch challenges. And so the month of April, she did an I Spy challenge, and each one had a listing. And so I've been working away on pieces for that. So I'm gonna share those with you. I have 2 more pieces to finish working on to touch. My goal this month is 200 stitches on each one. Some of them I've given a little bit more, trying to get my whips worked on, but I also did 2 new starts, and so that was fun too. So I'm going to show you what I did. The first one was something with clouds in it, and so I just started this. So this was one of my new starts. I didn't have anything that had clouds in it, so I picked out Blooming Tiny Town for my stash by Heart and Hand, and I completed one of the buildings. So I met that goal. Then the next one is something that makes you laugh. So I tried to think, what is something in my stash that I had that makes me laugh, and I came up with squirrels make me laugh. And I had this piece. It's been a whip for a while, but it's Autumn Love by Lori Holt. And right here are 2 squirrels. And so my goal, it was 200 stitches, but I really wanted to get another of the blocks completed. So I got a block completed, and I started the inside border. So here is the full piece so far. And then the one that I worked on for that challenge is this one right here. And then I started coming inside here to do the stars along the border. So I was very happy to get that done. It went really quickly. I think it only took me 2 work evenings. If you didn't know, I try to stitch every day. I stitch for about an hour in the morning, unless I have a hard time getting up in the morning. Sometimes that happens. But I stitch an hour in the morning, and then I stitch probably about 2 hours in the evening if we're not busy with the kids. My children sometimes have little things they need to, places they need to go, errands they need to run, or after school things. And so if those things come up, then sometimes my stitching's a little less. But that, I try to stitch every day, at least the hour in the morning before I go to work, just so I know I've got something completed. The next one I worked on is something related to the earth. And so I've been working on this sampler Quaker tree, and it is by Happy Mood Point Cross Stitch Studio. This is the design. I bought it on Etsy, and it's designed as a monochromatic, and I decided to do my own color choices with it. So I chose 2 greens, and then for the one big motif, I chose to do that in some spring colors. So here is my progress. So I just have, I think, 8 more motifs to finish up the tree, and then I'll be done. I'm really happy with this. Every time I pick it up, it's just so hard to put it back down to move on to something else, because each little Quaker is so fun to stitch, and then I want to do another. But I'm really enjoying it, trying to stay focused and not jump around. So a little bit each week, and eventually I will have it complete. All right, and then the next one was a circle. So I went into my little basket of ornaments, since I'm still working on my ornaments, and I pulled out this particular bag, and it has 4 or 5, I think 5 designs from Stitching with the Housewife to rounds. I guess it's called their Christmas roundabouts. That's what it is. I had purchased all of them, and I want to FFO them all at the same time so I can make sure they look alike and go as a set. So this is the one, Joy to the World. And here is my finish. This one is on their black Monaco, and I really like it. I really like the Monaco, and I'm so happy that they have it in black. So I finished that one. So that was exciting. And then the next one was something expensive. So something expensive, so I thought a house is expensive, so I chose Santa Stops Here, because there's a beautiful candy shop house in it. Here it is. There we go. Sorry about the glare. It's so sunny right now. All right, and so on this one, the last time I was working on it, I only had 1/4 of the house stitched. So now I have half of the house stitched. So I was very happy about that. I chose to outline the bricks, and then during a Zoom, I was just filling in bricks. And so when something like that, that's kind of tedious, that makes you like, ugh, I don't feel like working on this. If you do it in a Zoom amongst friends, they're talking to you. So I think it distracts you from feeling bored. And so I was able to get a lot of the bricks done. So I will probably do that again in a future Zoom. And this one is actually a stitch along between me and Sarah from Sarah Stitches. Her and I are stitching this together. My friend Gina Schaefer, who you can find her on Instagram. I think it's Stitching All Day is her name. And she's already completed it, and I believe she's already framed it too. She got hers done in time for Christmas, I think. And then, let's see. Then something that starts with an A. So I had this little house in my whips. I had this Little House Needleworks ABC samplers. I had started it a couple of years ago, and just like all the series, I start them at the beginning, get all excited, do 2 or 3, then end up putting it away, and then when I pick it up again, same thing, I get all excited. I'm gonna keep going till they're done, do 2 or 3, put it away again. So here I am pulling it out again. So the one I was on is RST, and it was the prompt is something that starts with A, so ABC samplers, and I needed to work on RST, so I started it. I'm almost done. I have a little, I think it's a strawberry here and a strawberry here, or a flower. It's either a strawberry or flower. And then this one will be finished. And, oh, and there's a border all the way around, which I've done on all the others. So I will do it on there. So I have ABC, DE. All of these are stitched with DMC floss. They aren't called for DMC floss. I just matched up the fancy floss, and I went in and tried to get as close to the fancy floss colors as I could. This is FGH. And then I have IJK. LMN. OPQ. And now I'll have RST by the end of tonight. It's my goal. So, and then I don't know if I'll pick up the next one for this week because I do have 2 more projects I need to work on in the challenge. So I might carry this one into the next challenge if I can make it fit. So we'll see. I really do want to get it done so I can FFO them all the same. Those I would like to put on display in my classroom. I have a really cute tier tray that's big, and I thought that would be fun to put into my classroom. All right, so let's see. Then the next one was rain or puddles. So I did a new start, and this is a SAL that I'm stitching with several different people have joined in. This was in the previous Just Cross Stitch magazine, and I happened to model stitch this design. So Laura from Stitching by the Shore said she was going to start stitching it, and she was going to stitch it with Debbie Sisk. She is Glitter Dove Fairy on Instagram. They were going to stitch it. Would I be interested in stitching it again? And I said, that's so funny that you ask, because here is the piece I stitched for the magazine. And it's stitched with Valdani threads, and they're different bright colors. And then when I saw this, after I model stitched, I said, I have to stitch it again. I would like to stitch it like a rainy day and make it different, a little bit different. So I chose a really stormy gray, and this is by Fabric Flair. And I chose different shades of blues to stitch it. And so since I know several people are stitching it with me and Laura, I'll show you their names too. I'm trying to go slow. So here's where I'm at so far. So I have the lady finished with her purse. I just need to do her umbrella, and then I can start the rain. The rain goes really, really fast. So I know that I'll get it done pretty quickly, so I'm not very worried. But I'll show you my fabric, my floss colors. I chose to do different shades of blues to make it look like rain. And let me see if I can make the little twisty. And here are some of the colors. You can see I have teals in there, light blues, some darker blues. I think it'll be very pretty. And I'm very excited about it. And what's fun is our hashtag is #SpringShowersSal. And you should try to check it out, or look at Laura's. Anyone that I mentioned, go to their page and check them out, because every single person is taking a different take on it. So Debbie is doing it as a tribute to her recent dog that passed away. She even charted a little dog in it to look like her dog, which I thought was sweet. Laura has changed her colors. The 502 Stitcher, Paula, hi Paula, she texted me or messaged me on Instagram and tagged me. She's stitching it, and she's gonna stitch it in purples. And she said, I've been singing Purple Rain ever since I decided to do it that route. My friend Cheryl Tattersall, my friend Cheryl, she's one of our Menifee stitchers. She's also stitching it. And then Carla, I know I'm gonna say your Instagram name wrong, but it's Carla WTHAK. That's on Instagram, so if you want to check hers out too. I know that Laura's idea is to mimic the melted crayons that people used to do as an art page, as an art piece. Sorry, should be a piece. Several years ago, you could do it with your children. Use a heat tool or a blow dryer, and you can melt crayons at the top of a canvas, and it can come down, and you could even mask the canvas with different designs. So like I remember I saw one where they took a butterfly and they cut out a butterfly shape and they pressed it down, and as they heated, they used the heat tool to melt the crayons. The crayons went around the mask, and then you peel the mask off and it leaves the butterfly shape in the middle of those melted crayons. It's very cool. So I know that Laura's doing something along those lines. And then I think I got everyone. Oh, no, there's also Lost Our Needles. They have a floss tube too. So if you haven't watched the 502 Stitcher Paula, go check her out. And also Lost Our Needles. It's a mom and daughter duo. They're also floss tubers and they're also stitching it. So check them out. All of us are stitching that and we'll continue stitching it. So it's not too late to join us. As you see, I've only got the lady finished. So the next time I work on it, I'll probably go to her umbrella. So you can still join in and tag us. Please tag us so we can see what your take on that design is. Or if you want to stitch as it's called for, please feel free to do that too. And then the next piece is A Way to Travel. And this one I'm really excited about. So A Way to Travel, I had in my whips Away We Ride by Blackbird Designs. I know you've probably seen it, but I will show you the chart. I think last year there was a sale, a whole bunch of people had pulled it out. And for some reason, I don't know, I think a couple of friends have said when somebody's doing a sale and there's a lot of people doing it, you start to feel like you've been working on it even when you haven't. So I didn't pull mine out and join in the sale, but a lot of people finished it last year. I started mine, I want to say it's been 2 years now. And when I started it, I only did like 3 berries here and 3 berries here. And then it just sat. And last year I never got to it because I had other things that I was working on and it didn't come up in my rotation. So my goal this year is to continue to work on it. So when it said A Way to Travel, I decided to go with Crows Travel. They fly. So, or ravens. And so I got it out and look, I was able to get all the way across the bottom, up the side, and the bottom portion of the words. So then I put it away, not because I don't love it, but I'd been working on those same 2 colors. Actually, there's 2 colors in here. And I'd been working on it for so long that I was like, I'm ready for another color. So I made sure that I got that part finished so that the next time I pick it up, I can move into here and have a whole new color to stitch. So I'm very proud of that. That was way more than 200 stitches, but I'm really excited. And it was really fun to see the progress on that happening. So I will continue to work on that. I will probably pull it out in another future challenge to continue to get more stitches in it. All right, so those were all of my I Spy challenges. But that's not all my whips. I also have been in a couple of sales. So I showed you 2 already that I'm in, but I'm also in a couple more. So I'm going to show you those because I worked on them as well. In our Menifee Stitchers group, we decided that we would stitch a drum together and then have a finishing day where we all finish together, and then those of us who've created drums before can help guide the other girls through making their own drum. So we had a hard time because our sweet friend Kim from Contented Needleworker Kim, she lives like right around the corner from me. She has stitched so many pieces in this book. So trying to find a piece that she hadn't stitched yet was a challenge, but we were able to find it. It came from the Sewing Club by Blackbird Designs, and we chose Rose Hips and Ivy. Let me just pull that up so you can see what it's going to look like. And here we go. And this is the drum. This is only one side of it, but it also comes with a pattern to do the top. And there are, I wanted to see, I don't think there's a photo in here where you can see it straight. Checking real quick for you. No, there is not one of it all flat, but there are 3 baskets. The one that's shown on there with the bird on top, that's the middle basket. Here's my progress. I completed this one first. I did the side border here, and I'm coming across the bottom. I started this berry basket, so I have a few more berries. Then I can do the bird, and then I still have another basket, and of course the border across the top and the side. A lot of them are already done or just about done. We had never set a start date, and some of us I needed to order the book. I didn't have the book, and now I want to stitch everything in it. And then some of us didn't have our floss. So some of us started, we were all excited and started. Some of them are done. Some of us are still working on it. So that'll be fun to finish. And then when we all get together, it'll be fun to FFO them and then take pictures of everybody with them. And then I can share with you how we all did it. You can see if they look the same or not, because some of us did called for, some of us did not. So you'll be able to see those when they're done. I'll make sure to have photos to share with you. All right, and then the next sal that I'm working in, I'm doing this one with Sarah stitches and bluebird paper and thread. We are all stitching this, and this is the Honey Quaker by Primrose Cottage Stitches. And I had my friend Aga gave me this beautiful piece of fabric flare, and it's like a green. And I thought, oh, this is so cool. I know exactly what I want to stitch on it. And I had the pattern, but I hadn't taken it out yet. So when Sarah and I want to say her name's Jennifer, but I feel like it's wrong. Bluebird and Paper and Thread, when they were talking together about stitching it, Sarah said, oh, Sandy, I know you've been wanting to stitch it, get it out. So I got it out and I started, and I just had to change a little bit. The darker color, I changed to a little bit darker. And then the color that was the lightest, it was too close to this color. So I'm doing them all in B5200. So that's, otherwise everything is called for, but I really like how it's turning out. I have the large motif with the bumblebees left and a couple of the side Quakers, and then I'll be finished with this one too. So I'm glad she told me to get it out. It's been so much fun stitching it, and it's fun because we'll text each other updated pictures here, and that just inspires me to keep going. So with those, I wanted to share 2 sals that I'm going to be starting, and I wanted to tell you about them in case you want to join in. You're welcome to join in. The first one is my birthday's coming up. My birthday is May 8th, and I share my birthday with another Flosstuber who is Shelly from It's Only Stitching. That's her Flosstube channel. And last year, she had told me, oh, we should be stitching something together for our birthdays. So we did. She picked out a pattern, and we stitched it. And this year, we were like, well, what are we going to do this year? So I suggested, from the Heart Needle Art, May Quaker. And so this is what we're going to be doing. Shelly, I think, is changing the colors. She doesn't want to do these colors. I haven't quite decided if I'm going to go with these, or green is my favorite color. So I may do the green. I'm not sure. This is Pickled Beets, I believe, is the color of the little purplish color. I need to see that in person. I've never seen that floss before by Classic Colorworks. So I'm going to get a look at it when I go to Grand Country Quilts on Saturday and check it out. And if I like it, I'll use it. If I don't, I'm going to switch it out, maybe to a different purple, because I do like purple and green together. And then the other thing is this little, I think they call them a cartouche. Am I saying that right? I don't know. I will do like I did for my daughters. If you're following me, I am going to put my birth date in there. And so that way, and then I'll add my initials on it as well. So we are going to start this on our birthday. Our birthday is May 8th, Shelly and I's. So if you would like to start this with us and you have this pattern, or you have time to order it, I think you can also order a PDF. Please join us. I'd love to see what you do. And it'd be fun for you to join us. I love when more people join. I like to see what everyone's doing and share pictures and have fun chatting about it. So if you'd like to celebrate with my birthday and do that, I would love to have you join us. The other thing is I have a Zoom. I do the Zoom the second and fourth Sunday of every single month. The next one coming up is this Saturday, which is the 28th. And you're welcome to come. It's from 10 to 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, because I live here in California, which is why here we are at 6 o'clock in the evening and it's super sunny. So if you'd like to join us, you're welcome to come. Just email me. My email is in the description box below, and I will send you the link to join us. And our Zoom friends, there's all different, there's so many different people. There's stitchers from around the world that come in. There is Flosstubers from around the world that come in. And some people come some days and they don't come another day, and then you'll see them later on in the year. Whenever they're available, they pop in and we just have fun chatting. We share what we're stitching, if anyone needs advice. And so Kim, the contented needleworker, Kim says, Sandy, we should really have a Zoom stitch along. We should all be doing something together. And I said, okay, what should we do? Well, together, the group that happened to be there that day, we were trying to think, what should we work on? And Nashville Needlework had just happened and everybody was getting their purchases. And a lot of people had purchased the new crackers from Stacy Nash. So we went through different ones and people are like, oh, I probably wouldn't stitch it, which is what we wanted. We wanted you to be honest so we could find something that everybody likes, because everyone has different taste. And so we came up with the crackers and we decided we'd open it up to any of the crackers, any of the Stacy Nash crackers. Well, I chose Clementine, and my sweet friend Michelle loaned me her pattern because I tried and tried and tried to find it. I could not find it, and she said, you can borrow mine. So I borrowed hers, and I will have to stitch it and get it back to her. But I chose Clementine, and instead of stitching Clementine the way she is as this cat, I am going to stitch her as a black kitty so that she can be like my cat, Raven, which is my Maine Coon. And so I'm still going to stitch her dress. She looks beautiful. I like that. The colors are pretty, but I'm going to stitch it to look like my cat. And so this is the one that I chose. Please feel free to choose any cracker that you have, or if you want to order one. I know there's lots of different ones out there. And I believe we're going to start stitching this next month in one of the Zooms in May. Now I don't want to say the second Sunday. The only reason I'm saying that is because the second Sunday happens to be Mother's Day, and I don't know if everybody's going to be coming in on the Zoom. I don't even know what my family has planned for me. So we will start it in May at one of the Zooms. So if you don't have it by the first one, or you can't come to the first one, get it by the second one, and then that way you can join in on the Zoom on the stitch with us. And so that way, every time we meet from Zoom from here on out, we can show our progress. So you would have 2 weeks in between each time we Zoom to work on it. So if you get a little bit in, that's great. You don't have to do the whole thing and get done. There's no end date. There's no time frame. I'm not giving assignments. I'm just saying, come and join us. It'd be fun to see what you're working on, and it'd be fun to share what I'm working on with you. So this is going to have a hashtag. Our hashtag came from Shelly. She had a great idea, and she said it's going to be Stitching Crackers with Sandy will be our hashtag. And so that will be ourselves. So if you'd like to join us, and please feel free to pick up a cracker. And then also, if you want to Zoom, again, remember to message me below. All right. So that brings my sals done, which brings me to my swap update. If you have been following me or you haven't, it's okay. I host a swap. I try to do one every couple of months. And if you want to join, you're welcome to. International people join as well. I try very hard to match people up randomly. I use a spinner. If for some reason you cannot ship out of your country, or want to stay within the United States, you can let me know that and I'll do my best to make that happen. However, I do want to make sure you understand that if you are international, I only get a few people that actually participate that are international, and they're not always from the same country. So I will try really hard to match up what your interest is in, and if for some reason I'm unable to do that, I will then reach out and ask you if you want to pass or you still want to go along in the swap. I'll give you the opportunity to back out if you need to, because I'd rather you back out in the beginning before I've assigned everybody than to back out in the middle and then that person ends up without a swap. And the way my swaps work is the theme is summer fun in the sun. So you pick any summer pattern you'd like. The finished piece can be finished any way that you would like to finish it. The stitching area should not be more than 6 by 6, and stick to the theme, please. And then I will be taking names up to the end of May 1st. So on May 2nd, I will then send out, and actually I'm going to take that back. May 3rd, because May 2nd is my kindergarten open house. So I won't even be home. So May 3rd, I will send out who you will be mailing your piece to. And then you have until June 1st to send your piece out. So that will give you a whole month to complete your stitching. So if that's something you're interested in joining, if you haven't signed up already and would like to join up, please get your name to me by May 1st. You can email me through my email. It's listed below. I also list my Instagram account too. If you'd like to reach me there, you can also message me through Instagram. If I don't respond to you, make sure you message me back to make sure I got your interest, because sometimes Instagram, I don't see that someone new that I haven't been following or they haven't followed me requests a message and I don't see it. So if I don't respond to you, please go back to my email and respond there. I do always check my email all the time. So if you'd like to join us, we'd love to have you. All right, so that brings me up to my haul. And last time I held back some of my haul. I'm still holding back some because I did do a lot of shopping prior to market. And so it would be a very long video if I showed you it all. So I'm gonna just show you a little bit now, and then I'll carry it over to the next one because I'm kind of halting on my purchases for a little while because I have so much I want to stitch right now. So this I found from Cynthia Brew. She's a floss tuber, and she finished this piece, and then just recently I watched her floss tube, her most recent one, and she had it FFO'd. It's framed. So she is stitching in the light. It says Cynthia Brew stitching in the light. And so I saw this and started hunting all over for it. It's a Brenda Gervais. It's called Heart and Hand. And my sweet friend Michelle was able to locate it on Farm Girl Dry Goods on her shop. And so when I looked on it, they had so many Brenda Gervais. She had a lot. So I ordered this, and of course then I went down the rabbit hole and ordered a bunch more. So I'll share those with you. But I had the floss down here. I went and ordered the floss I didn't have. And then I have never stitched on Weeks Dye Works Dove, but that's the called for, and I really like the color. And had thought about possibly dyeing my own fabric, but I'm glad I didn't. I went and found it on 123 Stitch, and this color is so pretty. I don't know if you can tell, but it has like green and blue to it, and it is just so beautiful. The blue is kind of a tealy green, and so I'm really excited about that. So this is ready to go. I just need to get a project bag and get started on it. I'm hoping to have that as a new start next month. So here's what I bought when I bought that, because of course you can't just buy one chart. I bought Quaker Handiwork. This is also by Brenda Gervais. So pretty. And then I got Where the Bittersweet Blooms. So some of these might seem like older patterns to you. I didn't have a local needlework shop, and 123 Stitch doesn't carry much Brenda Gervais anymore. I think she likes to just work through local needlework shops. So when I got to this pages after pages, and I'm talking over 10 pages of Brenda Gervais, I was like, oh, I need that. Oh, I need that. So I also got Candy Cane Lane. I love this. So cute. That'll be fun to stitch up this year. I got Gone Batty, and that reminds me of my cat Raven. And then I got Tis Spring and Grandma's Candy Dish. These are her new releases. Happy Easter. Oh, there we go. And then I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I watch everybody else do it. And every time I see a floss tuber pull this out and share it, I'm like, oh, I still want to stitch that. So, but if you want to stitch it, you need to buy the pattern. So I finally did. And that is Winter Rose Manor. And my take on it, I know this is like a light pink, but I know there's a very, very pale green, and I want to do it in a pale green. So I'll probably make color changes when I do it. I'm not sure when I'll start it, but wanted to share that with you. So those are my Brenda Gervais pieces that I bought. And then my husband, this is a silly story. So for Christmas, my husband, Christmas, my birthday, our anniversary, he's so sweet. He's the most thoughtful man I've ever met in my life. And so he really thinks about what he's going to give you, and he tries to make it something that he thinks will make your life easier. And so for the past few years, he has purchased different electronical things. So when I say that, I get cold all the time. I have been anemic since birth, and I can't tolerate iron. And so unless I get an iron infusion, my iron is always very, very low. And so that makes me cold when everybody else is comfortable. And so one year he bought me an electric blanket. I love that. I use it all the time. Whenever I'm stitching, I use it. It was a great gift. Another year I was having really bad problem with plantar fasciitis. So he bought me a foot massager. Then I was having some neck pain in here. I'm not sure why. I don't know if my posture was bad, but he got me a massager. So he's been getting me things like that. And I love them, don't get me wrong, I love them, but they're kind of hard to store, some of them. Like the massager's really big and bulky, and I don't know where to put it when I'm not using it. So over time, I've collected these different things that he's given me, all very thoughtful gifts. But this year for Christmas, my feet are always cold too, so I'm always wearing slippers. Well, he found some electronical slippers where you use the USB port to charge them, and then after you charge them, they're supposed to keep your feet warm for a while. Well, we charged them and I put them in, they felt super warm, but as soon as I unplugged them, they got cold again. And the charger felt like it was on fire. It was so, so hot. So I was like, oh, I'm worried that this is gonna catch on fire or something's gonna go wrong. So from advice from my friends, they were like, tell him you want to return it. And I was like, I don't want to hurt his feelings, because he really wanted to do something nice for me. But in the end, I did. I asked him, can we please return this since it's like a fire danger? And I had showed him how hot it got. And he said, of course, whatever you want. And so they gave him a credit on Amazon. So then he said, well, if you want to go browse around Amazon and find something that you would like, let me know and I'll order it with the exchange of this money. So he sent those out. It took like almost 3 months for them finally to credit his account. It took a long time. But then I started looking, like, what cross stitch things do they have on Amazon? I'd never looked before. And you can find fabric and stuff, but they were like Ada fabrics. I didn't really want that. There was a couple of books on Amazon, cross stitch books. I didn't really want that. So I started tapping in some designer names. And after a few tries of different designers that I like, I had put Plum Street in there and a bunch popped up. So I ended up ordering some Plum Street. So this is one of them. It's called Trellis Blackbirds. And then I got Gobble Gob, which I'd been wanting to get, but it kept going out of stock on 1-2-3 Stitch. So I was very excited to finally get this one because I want to stitch it for November. And then I got My Heart's Welcome. And yes, I got them on Amazon. So So if you're ever trying, type in the designer name, see what comes up, because I was able to find some. So that came in the mail. I was very excited about that. Then I have a couple more pieces that I bought. I got Annie B's Bloomin' Bunnies Trio. I love that. I love this one. I want to stitch it so badly. Hopefully I'll get it done before next year. Then I got Pansy Patch Quilts and Stitching, and they had Hester's Special Delivery, and I got this one at Grand Country Quilts. So let me tell you about Grand Country Quilts. It is now our Southern California local needlework shop, and they own, it's in San Marcos, they own 2 shops in the same shopping center. One is at the beginning, and that is like primitive type quilting. They have quilting classes there. Their fabrics are beautiful. And then if you go down in the shopping center, you go all the way down to the end of the building, their other shop is there, and that's the more modern shop. Inside the modern shop, they have modern quilting designs and fabrics. And then they have a big classroom with lots of tables, and she's just started filling up everything inside with cross stitch. So she had started with a little bit of stuff that she had bought from a shop that closed, and when Nashville came, she went shopping and she bought so much. So she now carries Classic Colorworks floss, Weeks Dye Works floss, Gentle Arts floss. She ordered that from Nashville. She ordered a whole bunch of different designs from Nashville because she offers a stitching day. So there's 2 stitching days a month. You can go the 3rd Saturday of the month or the 4th Saturday of the month, or both, from 10 to 3. If you go, the cost to sit and stitch all day is $10. However, if you shop, you apply that to your shopping, and then you're not really paying to stitch, you're paying for your purchase. And when you go on those days, you get to, and you join the stitching, you get to meet other stitchers, and you get the class discount. So there's a discount as well. So you really want to come. It's so much fun. There's several Flosstubers that go, and both weekends. And if you can come, we're going to be going this next weekend. So I hope that you'll check out the store. Her website, I know a lot of people have checked out the website. It hasn't been updated yet to include the cross stitch yet. It's still just showing quilting, but I promise you, this has been going on now for several months, and we've been going down there every single month to stitch. And since Nashville, she ordered more fabrics. So we have fabrics from different dyers that are there as well, and in different counts and different types of fabrics. So hand-dyed fabrics as well. So if you have been wanting to have a local needlework shop, or you just want to find other stitchers, we are here, we are out here, and we would love for you to join us in stitching. So I'm going on Saturday. I hope to see you there. All right, and my last 2 pieces that I'm sharing with you today is I got Bee in My Bonnet Set O by Lori Holt. I like this one. I think I want to do it in a up and down, like a vertical row. I really want to stitch that. And then my last one is Frog Cottage Designs by Blackbird Quaker. And this is it. I think it's so cute. I know I could stitch that pretty quickly. I just need to sit down and put it in my stitching pile. So that's my haul. Well, part of it. I'll show the rest of it in my next channel because this one's getting to be an hour. So that's pretty much what I have for you today. I hope that you are healthy, happy, and safe, and I hope that you'll come back and see me again. If you like what you saw and you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. I'm getting close to 2,000, and I'd like to do a big giveaway. Until then, I'm going to hold off on giveaways because I'm very close. So tell your friends, share my name, share it on Instagram. I would love for people to come check me out. And if you're looking for me on Instagram, my Instagram address will be in the description box. Unfortunately, there are many Stitching with Sandys on Instagram, so I had to do stitchin_Sandy on Instagram. So that's where you'll find me if you're looking for me on a day-to-day basis. Otherwise, I'll see you in my next floss tube. I hope you take care, and I'll see you later. Bye.